This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Nine minutes past the top of the hour, that is 9 a.m. this morning. It's a bright morning here in Kampala and around Uganda Broadcasting Corporation at Nile Avenue. I'm Robert Chirabonyonyi. In case you've just joined, welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra, which is an extension of Good Morning Uganda. I cannot get tired or forget to remind you that we are always here from 6:30, so you can't afford to miss being awakened or starting your morning with a lot of laughters, yet very informative jokes, because we ensure we update you with what is happening locally and what is happening internationally. We have a number of segments, very rich for someone to start your day very informed. You can't miss Weather and Nature with Molen Kanyana. We have the Newsreel, where we discuss very pertinent issues, giving our opinions, but also we have the press review. So there's so much that you can't afford to miss. Make it a date with us every weekday from 6:30. Then I later come back with Good Morning Uganda Extra, where I usually have a guest in studios and we discuss quite a number of issues that are still very relevant to national development in all sectors. Now this morning it's a bit of education, but more so looking at old students associations, and this morning I'll be discussing particularly the alumni of Muir Old Boys Association. Now I'm privileged to have the president of that is the Muir Old Boys Association, who is with me in studios, and that is Daniel Rusiza, who is very smart. I want to believe this is what they wear, because at least I see the blue, the yellow, but also we used to call them a badge when we were in school. Those days it could have had another name. When it's logo now.
Yes.
Most welcome to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the good work that you are doing, and thank you for having me.
Well, we are going to be discussing more of this Old Boys Association, Old Girls Association, Old Schools Associations, because we have singles, some are for girls, some are for only boys, but also have mixed schools. However, I want to emphasize, particularly looking at Muir, given what is going to be happening this Saturday, when they are going to be having the Alumni annual general meeting, where they will gather at the school, and so much. The guest is here. But also Friday, where they'll be having some career guidance, and they expect the Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. Christo Muyingo, will be joining them. So that is what is going to cover up. But beginning with, how is Muir? You know, we remember it's among the schools we call traditional schools.
Yes. Yes.
I know you always frequent there, here and there. How is it?
Muir is a good school. Muir is fine. We have a good team leading the school. Some of the team members there are also old boys of the school. We continue to command the best view in town, the best view of the lake. Our student population has continued to grow. We are recovering from some of the challenges we had before. And as a result of that, the students are happier, the teachers are happy, the old boys are happy, and we have seen a steady increase in the activities and support of the old boys to the school, the ministry to the school. Even friends of Muir, who were the teachers, the English teachers who came from the United Kingdom, continuing to support the school in its activities. We continue to green, we continue to plant trees, we continue to renovate buildings, and so our school remains one of those that we remain truly proud of for what it did for us and what it's continuing to do for the country and for the region.
Okay. I love such words from an old boy of a school, not only because you're the president of the alumni, but that is what people should say about their schools. Now, what makes Muir stand out? Yes.
First of all, Busoga College Muir is historically the school that produced the Prime Minister that led Uganda to independence, Apollo Milton Obote. The school produced the former Prime Minister who is leading the Ugandan delegation in the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. That is Honorable Hakana Rugunda. So we boast of a good team of alumni. We also boast of holding the biggest number of successful caps in school cricket. We boast of a plateau, a beautiful site, and we boast of so many doctors, professors, and people who've made it in life. Because in Muir we believe that we do not just produce results, that is academic results. We believe that we produce men and results. And that is a very critical thing, because we know that for men of Muir, we have to be, and men in the country generally, we've just recently celebrated Father's Day. We want to produce, and we continue to celebrate, people who have not only excelled in their professions, but have gone ahead to impact society in different ways. You probably know about Rotarian OHT Wawagwa Nsividwa. He's a really old boy. So we know him as an old boy, we know him as a financier, but we know him as a strong Buganda Kingdom adherent and minister. So that kind of holistic individual is the one that we boast of as a school.
Well, this man loves his former school.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about alumni, why is it important for old boys to go back to their schools, support them? Why is it very important for a Meridian to be a member of the alumni?
Yes. So, two main reasons. First of all, Uganda is suffering from a deficiency of men and fathers.
Very true, I agree with you.
So that means that we need those old boys who have become successful fathers, they've raised children, to come back to the young men and teach them how to be responsible. Even before we talk about academic excellence, that is very critical, because all the other schools, all the ladies, all the families struggle when the father is absent. That is point number one. So the OBs need to come back and speak to over 700 young boys, inspire over 700 young boys to become responsible men, responsible fathers. Number two, it's actually a constitutional duty to do so, to promote responsible parenthood. Now, the school cannot survive on only the parents of the old boys, of the students. The school cannot survive on only the government supporting it. There are those activities which cannot be done by the government, which cannot be done by the church, because it's a church-founded school. And that's where the old boys come in. To coach students in sports, you need an old boy. And that's why we've been able to succeed in, for example, cricket. Because old boys, old cricketers have continued to come back. From the late John Nagenda up to today, the Chisubis and others have continued to go back. That is something that can't be done by anyone else. Number two, renovation of teachers' houses, the school dining hall, classrooms, etc. cannot be done only by the government or the parents. Old boys need to come back. Even teaching and unpacking some of these academic concepts. When someone listens to somebody who has done it, for example, I'm a lawyer, and if I'm able to go back and unpack the purpose of general paper and how it impacts on the study of law and life generally, there's that added oomph to education, which the old boy may not, which the student may not get from a teacher, may not get from the government. So we come in as old boys to support. So we support financially, We support economically. We give moral support and also spiritual support, because Muir also boasts of having a very powerful scripture union that has brought up quite a number of pastors. And that moral fabric is important. You know that Uganda really struggles when it comes to morality. And I think having that holistic support from the old boys to the whole life cycle of the students creates a successful, helpful, and productive citizen. Yes.
Well, a quick one. Is every old boy of Busoga College, Muir, a member of the alumni? And how big is your membership?
Thank you. Actually, we have spread it because we are very generous. If you've been to Muir Primary School, you are our old boy. Because Muir Primary at the base of the hill is the one that gives us the biggest number of old boys on top of the hill. So if you're a Muir Primary School student, OB, even if you went to King's College Budo, like Professor David Bachivinga, you are our OB. 2, if you've been to the school for a minimum of 6 months or more, you are our OB. And then we have other classes of alumni who we consider as our own. If you've taught at the school, we consider you as one of us. If you are a parent and you have some students that have come to the school, we give you some kind of associated membership with us. So we try and make it as inclusive as possible, because we know that the school cannot survive on its own. So if you've done your 6 years, 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, you are our alumni. You are our old boy. You are a member of our association. All we ask is that you pay a small fee of 50,000 shillings. But we also have a classification of life membership, where we pay 1,010,000 shillings, because you know other schools at King's College Budo pay 1 million. So we have to be a bit better than Budo and say 1,010,000 to be a life member of Busoga College Muir. Well, so that is how generous we do it. But knowing very well that education cannot be one man's journey, and so even association cannot be one man's journey. And so we've even borrowed the idea of Gayaza High School, Gayaza Old Girls Association. You know, they have the Sego Girls. The Sego guy is the one who is married to a Gayaza old girl. Now, I'm a Sego guy in Gayaza because my wife is from Gayaza. So even us, if you are married to a Muirian, we have some association that we want you to be part of, because we know both parents are very critical in raising the students. And so we also invite them to our activities, including the Muiri League, which I'm sure you've heard about, that is doing very well. Yeah.
Very interesting, and I love that spirit of competitism that is among traditional schools. When
and learning from each other.
And learning from each other. We just want to, of course, of that you are grateful. We no longer have that extremism. These traditional schools, now it is healthy competition, I must say. And maybe that we can look at you, the old boys that said, well, what we had should not continue the way it was. Now those
that is very true. Actually, King's College Budo last year invited me to their annual general meeting. And the year before, and that very year actually, we also invited the leadership of King's College Budo, Old Budonians Club, as we call them, to come. Trinity College Nabingo leadership came. Recently we visited Kira College Butiki at their annual general meeting, because we've realized that sometimes this competition makes us lose the point. We are all Ugandans. We may have gone to different schools, but we can support one another in ensuring that wherever we are, it's not about fist fighting, but instead holding hands together, because we all want the best for the Ugandan citizen.
Well, now let's go to what is going to happen. The annual alumni meeting. Now, when is this? What is it all about?
Okay, thank you very much. So the Muir Old Boys annual general meeting is going to happen on Saturday, this Saturday, the 24th of June. What we are planning to do, apart from the usual legal requirements of an annual general meeting, is just to give feedback. What have we been doing? The renovations we've carried out at the school, the activities that have been taking place. Old boys have been really active. They've started a group that supports basketball. They've started a group that supports rugby. And this is picking up from the Muir League that is focused on football and cricket. So that is one thing. Two, some old boys have led an innovation to repair the chapel. Others have led an innovation to repair the school dining hall, which we used to call the mess. And it all started with the Muir Brotherhood of 2015, which went to repair the school toilets and so on and so forth. So that kind of feedback to the old boys and their associated support system is very critical for us to be accountable. Good. We are also going to listen to the school and hear, what have you done? Where have you succeeded? And as you know, the ministry has started a new curriculum. How are we faring? And where can the old boys chip in that regard? Then we will spend the lunch hour between midday and 2 to just associate with the boys. Last time we even went and had a meal with them, you know, and we want to do it again. Whether it's posho, whether it's beans, chicken, meat, we will eat, sit together, and then have a conversation with the boys, one-on-one. That is very critical because many times the boys are in school, we are at work. So we come together to support them. Then we shall have a football between the old boys and the school. You know, we've been participating in the FUFA TV series. And finally, we have a MOBA house in Ginger where they will have the president's cocktail. Old boys will go to Ginger, we'll have a president's cocktail and to celebrate. And why are we celebrating? Because of the activities, the achievements, and you know, on Friday will be the careers day, where we are inviting all old boys with your different careers. Come and exhibit. Show us your carpentry, metalwork, law, medicine, gynecology, etc. Let us hear, let the students be inspired, you know, to be part of the careers you have chosen. And the Honorable Minister, John Chrysostom Muyingu, has been slotted as our guest of honor. I think that is going to be a 2-day event that will leave our school better than it already is.
Yes. Well, if I was, but I never, of course, that wasn't where I went, but I just see a cocktail of activities, and there's nothing so sweet as mentorship.
Yes.
There's nothing so good as seeing that you're impacting on the destiny of a young person. Now I see the current students there meeting people like you, a lawyer, a senior lecturer at Makerere in the Department of Law. There's so much I can see because they know you went through that school, you made it. Here you are, you're speaking to them. And it shows them also responsibility. It's not all about going through school and saying bye-bye. The school has made you. What are you making of the school? I from my paid school fees and I passed with this. But there must have been challenges. One of the biggest issues I know is handling old boys for single-sex school or managing the alumni. Here you are, sometimes different years. Those people. Old boys. I know it may not have been an easy task. Or for you, maybe for Busoga College, it is just so smooth. What have been some of those challenges?
So first of all, we had some past governance challenges at the school that led to some of the strikes that you probably heard of and our dip in academic performance. We cannot shy away from that because it's already out there in the public. But what helped us as a school was that from the time I remember joining in senior 1, the way the structure of the school was done was that in every dormitory, I was in the mighty Wako house, in every dormitory, you had senior 1 up to senior 6. So that broke the culture of, I don't associate with this group or the other group. Now, when I meet old boys on the street, regardless of which class you are in, I can go up to you and say hello. You see? And that helps quite a lot to break what would have been the class issues amongst the old boys. We can sit together and enjoy a cup of tea. That's why I can speak about Honorable Wagwan Sibirwa. I can speak about Rotarian Tom Kajumba, the architect, Robert Kisubi, Tusubira, and others, because we have broken the culture of classification right from the school. And because we also associate in other groups and places such as the Rotary clubs. I go to the Rotary Club of Kampala North. I belong to the Rotary Club of Kampala North, and I have many of my senior OBs there. I can easily speak to them. So that helped to moderate what would have been a big problem. Number two, generally, the leadership of Muir Old Boys Association has been very good. The leaders have tried to accommodate so many of our differences, but also to appreciate those who have excelled. And that inspires old boys to align themselves. We have said the order of the leopard with different classes, silver, gold, platinum, to appreciate what the different old boys have done. So, and also leadership by example is critical. You see, when Honorable Ruhakana Rugunda, who is our patron right now, comes to the school, sits down, you know, we call him Mundugu, and associates with all of us, it forces me, with my heirs, if I had any, to also come down and associate with others. And that encourages the students that are there and those who have just finished to also begin to see each other as fellow men who can learn from each other. And also continue to support the school. So we have, for example, old boys right now who are leading the school, who are teachers. For example, one of the careers master today, Samson Ohwayo, was my prefect for library and prep when I was in senior one. And because we already have that association, it makes it easier for us to deal with one another. And I can't denounce the fact that the Muir League has even brought us closer together in our different cohorts.
A bit of detail about Muir League.
So the Muir League is a football competition. And the cohorts are divided in the way that if you went to school in a certain age group or in a certain year, you form a team and you give it any interesting name. Lukambwe meaning dry tea, Buliti meaning fried cassava, Salvo meaning the path to and from the hill. Those interesting names that bring people together, and we play friendly football. It's not too competitive, and at the end of it you invite a musician to play some music while you're enjoying a cup of tea or whichever drink you prefer, and that breaks the barriers. So when time comes for us to associate and talk and plan for the school, for example, our plan now is to renovate teachers' houses and also build a new gate, because you see the road from the road right from the main road up to Muir is properly tarmacked. Yeah, we are doing very well. So if you invite old boys now to say, let us renovate teachers' houses, as is our project right now, let us build a new gate, because of the association we already have, we generally deal very well with each other. But of course, like in any society, I cannot pretend that there can never be a difference of opinion. But like our OB, Andrew Mwenda, says, a contestation of ideas is always a good one, because at the end of the day, the best idea wins. Yes.
Well, I don't want to envy these people, but I hope wherever you are and you're watching, do you have an alumni? If so, what are you doing? You know, we can copy, yes, say to my colleagues from St. Mary's Chitende. We have something, yes, but what can we do better than people from Muir actually. We want to do better than you.
You're actually invited to come this weekend and learn from us. Actually, everyone is invited. I've invited as many people as possible to come. Just associate with the Muir Old Boys Association. We are very generous. We are a 111 plus institution, which I think is a good thing, older than Uganda itself. And so, yes, come and learn. And also come and teach us what you think can work better.
Well, at that point, with that invitation, allow me to go for a short break. I'll be returning very shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda.
Sebakala ogamba nti sente URA ezetukunganya zezimala okukola ebintu bino byonna enguudo amasomero n'ebintu ebirala. Muzeyi aba basajja basoza sente nyingi nnyo olaba nti boda boda banzako miliyoni aga
miliyoni ana
zo wa boda.
Olowooza atunda okutunza emmere wa restaurant.
Nyabo sigo wa restaurant mukyere nyama biki bwoba miliyoni nkaaga. Eki kati ataniza alina kawushibe n'akabaala. Muzeyi kati yake bwofudde bufi kiki
leka nawo lekerawo okulimba URA era omusolo gwe bayita presumptive tax oba guyita omusolo ogwafa oba business obutono obuyingiza okuva ku miliyoni 10 paka ku 15 obutasukkawo omwaka.
Kati olonze banategeera bati nyingiza yange.
Ate oba olina okukuuma ebitabo byonna ebikwata ku bizinensi yo. Ate ekyangu kwe kugenda gwe kennyini n'obensooka n'obatwalira ebitabo bino ku ofiisi zaabwe eza URA ezikuli okumpi. Awo ne babeera nga bagerekera omusolo omutuufu.
Ekitegeeza bali olina kwetega beetege.
Kyekyo bwe beetege bweteze osirike.
Ekitegeeza nti onyannyimba bulimbi.
Era bwe ate baakulimba nnyo. Kubanga ate mu ababooda mulina sasula emitwalo ejja omwaka.
Mitwalo ebiri?
Alewulira gwessebu obwedde oyogera ebigambo nga babikunyumiza n'otulimba abantu abakulu.
Anyumiriza.
Wamata gakutunnyonnyole.
URA ekujjukiza okusasula omusolo gwo ogwa presumptive tax. Guno gwe musolo ogusasulwa abo abaddukanya bizinesi entono era gusinziira ku nnyingiza ya bizinesi yo nga gusasulwa omulundi gumu buli mwaka gw'ebyensimbi. Genda mu ssimu yo onyige kamunyenye 285 kadaala oba sasula ng'okozesa mobile money oba mu bank oba kozesa ba mobile agents. Uganda Revenue Authority, tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
Attention coffee farmers, traders and processors. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has important advice for a successful harvest season. Pick only red farm cherries to achieve good weight and high quality coffee. For natural processing, dry coffee on tarpaulin, concrete or clothing to avoid mold growth. Avoid heaping coffee on the floor. Store coffee in jute bags and in ventilated rooms on wooden pallets. For more information on good harvest practices, visit your nearest extension worker or Uganda Coffee Development Authority offices.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that short break, and thank you for being with us. I'm still with my guest this morning, who happens to be the president of Busoga College Muir Old Boys Association, and that is Daniel Rusiza, with whom we are discussing activities of these alumni who are going to be meeting at the school. That is this Friday and Saturday. They will be having a career guidance meeting of the old boys, and of course Saturday so much activity will be happening there. But what has kept this alumni growing stronger and stronger? What has been your secret? Many alumni today are more or less there but not there.
Yeah. That's a very good question. People follow success. Yeah. People follow success. And I remember former MOBA President Rotarian Tusu mentioned it to me many years ago. People follow success. So if you do something good, people want to associate with it. So when, for example, in 2015, the renovation of school lavatories was done and a product was presented to the rest of the Muir boys, people are like, oh, this is good. I can actually do something as well for my school. And secondly, people follow leadership. And Muir, we always pride ourselves in leadership. And if you do some research, I think the last parliament, we had the highest number of members of parliament in the parliament of Uganda. So there was a doctor who, one of our old boys, who repaired the whole roof of one of the dormitories that he used to stay in. We call it Willis House. He removed the asbestos sheets because of their cancer-causing properties and replaced those asbestos sheets, I think with tiles or iron sheets. And everyone was inspired. Say, hey, we can also do this. Number 3, communication. Our former headmaster loved talking about communication. And I know you know the power of communication. Once something has been done, and you communicate to the old boys to say, hey, this is what we are doing. This is what we have done. Giving feedback and that kind of accountability. People now want to associate. Number 4, we never ignore the young. We never ignore the young. So even when we have our annual general meetings and our associations, we try to make sure that the young who are in most of these universities and tertiary institutions are informed about what we are doing. Why? Because as nature goes, the senior old boys will soon retire, sit and rest. And this has to be done by a new breed. I joined the Muir Old Boys Association when I was on campus. I started going back to the school. Sometimes I'll only go there with having bought an extra dictionary. I remember that day, I came with my extra dictionary and went to the headmaster's office and said, Headmaster, I am just a student at the university. But here is a dictionary that I can offer to support the school. Not that the school doesn't have dictionaries, no, but this is my offer to the school. And then the school started associating with me more and more. Of course, I was a head prefect before, and I had an added attraction to the school. And when they had activities, preaching, teaching, mentorship, talking to the prefects, I would go. And as you continue going, you inspire other old boys to do the same. And we have been blessed, honestly, by a certain crop of old boys. The Kazoras who are in journalism, who help to broadcast the message of the school. Some of the good results that we post, schools, cricket especially, some successes sometimes in football, and also successes sometimes academically. We used to do much better, I know, but we are getting there now. Inspiring and also supporting some of the students with school fees, especially those that have done well. And then targeting these ministers and members of parliament and tell them, look, this is your school. You are who you are because of what the school helps you to be. So come back and give. So we've seen continuously an additional increase in our membership. But I must credit again the Muir League. The Muir League added, especially during the COVID times and after COVID, Muir League brought more and more of us together. And also the Christian group. We have so many pastors that have come out of Muir. Very interesting.
Scripture Union there?
Yeah, Scripture Union. And quite a number.
Very strong movement in schools.
James Kasaga, Leonard Rego, and others. The late Philip Kintu, Moses Mukisa of Worship Harvest Ministries, who has now over 99 locations. Somehow, that group alone has also done very well. So football, Scripture Union, good old boys, the good crop, leadership and mentorship from others, cutting off the social classes, the power of social media. I give credit to our publicity secretary, Rodney Mugisha. You've done a good job. Like everything Mwiri is always on Twitter and everything. When we have marriages, we celebrate them. When we have children, we celebrate them. When we get someone has passed on, we notify the old boys. And we have now cohorts. We have a MOBA United Kingdom cohort. They recently had, last Saturday, they had a big picnic, I think in Peterborough, in the United Kingdom. We've started another one by Professor, one of the professors in the United States of America that is now gathering old boys together. All those small things that we do help. And of course, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University is an old boy of Musoga College, Mwiri. So, those things really help us and have helped us to grow. Yes.
Wow, I don't want to envy you. Good event time is coming to an end. The show is coming to an end, but there is so much to learn. And of course, this not only applies to Mwiri, but wherever you are, think about it. What have you done for the school that made you? What have you done? When they talk about, even if you spent 6 months in that school, I love that qualification. Yes. Even if you're a teacher, what have you done? Was it all about passing through, getting these good results? There's so much we can help when it comes to the schools where we went. But I just want to also look at, you've talked about old boys and all that. Where do you think we can better improve now generally our education system?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all is to appreciate those who have gone before us, appreciating our teachers. So one of the things we did as Mwiri Old Boys during COVID is that we collected some money to support our teachers during the COVID period, because no one was earning money, everyone was struggling. So some little money to support the teachers. And I know some other people did it in their different schools. That encourages a teacher to to be able to do much better. Number two, just the verbal appreciation of the work that has been done. Give someone some more energy to do better. What I try to do is to keep in touch with my former teachers, those who taught me, and I tell them I am who I am because of you. So don't feel, you know, that you have not performed or you have not succeeded in your work. Just because you're not a billionaire does not mean that you're not a billionaire in people and results. That's one thing. Number two, I wrote a book called We Don't Teach That at the University. And in that book, I call it Confessions of a University Don. In that book, what I say is that we can improve education, one, by mentorship relationships. And those are very critical. I know I am what I am today because of the Muir old boys who have mentored me, the teachers that have mentored me, the teachers that even check on me. That's all mentorship. It helps improve the final product of the individual. Number two, relationship capital, which we have talked about. That's why we invite all these other schools. Invite us to attend your activities and also come and attend our activities so that we learn from each other. What is Gayaza? What is Wanyange doing very well, which we can copy and also implement in our school? It's okay to be a copycat, you know, as long as the final issue is that you want to produce a student, a citizen of this country that can be a good parent, that can support this economy, because at the end of the day, honestly, nobody cares how many A's you had.
Yes.
What people remember is how you helped the nation. What innovations have you brought? So Muir is actually very excited with this new curriculum because it's something that we had always been talking about. The other way in which we can improve our education system is by beginning to think outside this box. Stop thinking only within the box, think outside that box. What are the other activities that will make a holistic individual? We have old boys who have exceeded in cricket. They have gotten married, become professionals. One of them is even playing for the national team in Canada, among other places, because we know that academics alone may not be what is the solution for our nation.
Actually, today many people are making money outside academia.
Outside academia, yes. So that telling those students straight off that yes, do very well academically, but also don't forget these other spaces where we need you. I am very sure that if I had only concentrated on the law, I would be living a more limited life. But because I loved my school, I love Rotary, I love philanthropy, I love God, I have become a holistic individual. So when I go to speak to my children, and I've been blessed with 4 and counting maybe, I bring all that. So education should not be only limited to how many A's and B's, but what are your A's and B's going to contribute at the end of the day to the nation? That's why we are proud of people like Ruhakana Rugunda. He studied medicine, he's been prime minister, he's negotiating peace. When that peace happens between Russia and Ukraine, Uganda will benefit, because suddenly the Ukrainian wheat fields can continue to produce. Our relationships with Russia improve, where we have been benefiting through fertilizers for our crops in Africa. We continue. You can see that holistic picture. Did you know that Ruhakana Rugunda and there's another OB, we are both leading the teams that were negotiating peace between the government of Uganda and the LRA. Ruhakana speaking for government of Uganda, and the OB, his name has slipped my mind, he's a lawyer as well, was speaking on behalf of LRA. During commercial break of the peace talks between LRA and Uganda government, they would sit and start reminiscing about Muir. So that kind of aspect is something we need to think about. So as we talk education, let's begin to think, One of the things, for example, that I'm proud of is that Muir taught me how to look after flower gardens, how to look after compounds. We used to have farm work. We used to clean our compounds. Now, when I am in my home, I can supervise the cleaning of my compound. I can plant some beans. During COVID, you have some cabbages and things like that. You know, and life goes on.
Very true.
You do not think that chicken, pigs are dirty. No, why? Because they are the things that feed you at the end of the day. You get it? So that holistic education is what we need to push to our students.
Well,
the last one, if you will allow
last
me,
one, Dennis.
the last one is sexual education and responsible relationships is very important. We can talk about education, but if we do not help people become disciplined regarding their sexual education and relationships, you cannot have families. I always boast and say Muir boys make the best husbands. I don't know about Kitende. Why? Because I know that if we are responsible parents, we will not fall sick. We will be able to protect our wives. And when we protect our wives, we raise children. When we raise children, we educate them in Muir and other schools. When they are educated, they can earn jobs and pay and support this government of Uganda. That is very critical. And that is something else that we need to emphasize as we talk about education holistically.
Now, as I let you go, there is something I see of late happening in schools, and of course single-sex schools and those traditional schools had something they would call SOSH. I just want to seek your view on the current prom parties. If you've been able to follow what is happening these days. And someone says, when we were in school, we had SOSH. What is happening today? Like, kids come in big cars, dress away. Just a minute that. I just seek your opinion.
No, I think this is a good role for us as alumni to be able to tell our young people, calm down. Not to create a picture of opulence and extravagance that you don't have. Because the truth is, the shoes, the dresses, the vehicles, and all this is borrowed stuff.
And all this.
Yeah. All this is borrowed stuff.
Child comes like a billionaire, and I'm like...
Yeah, and they are not billionaires. So we need to talk to each other as parents, because I too am a parent. We need to talk to each other as parents and say, guys, we are doing our children a disservice to create this picture which is not reality. We are creating a social media picture, and yet the truth is that these are young people who still have to make it in life. They've not yet earned a buck. Let's teach them financial management. Let's teach them to earn their keep. Let's teach them the way in which money is made. And that when it comes to social gatherings like those ones, calm down, dress decently. You see, the exposure of body parts and so on. The truth for those who are listening to me is that men are quite secretive. They want to protect the person they will marry. It is the truth. You may play around with all these gen and so on and so on, but when it comes to marriage, you don't want your wife to be the one that was exposed, whose body parts were exposed. It is the truth. Ask any Muir old boy, they will tell you. Ask any other...
Even St. Mary's
they'll tell you. You may want to play around with the blondes and whatever, but when it gets to marriage, you want to marry the brunette. That's why for me, I married the Gayaza girl. Yeah, Gayaza girl, decent, hardworking.
Too much blowing of your trumpet. Say bye-bye to our viewers. It's been a wonderful show. Let me have your parting shot.
Thank you very much to the leadership of UBC. We truly appreciate the things that you're doing here, and for giving Muir old boys an opportunity to speak to the nation and to invite the whole world to come and be part of career guidance and be part of our AGM. We are inviting companies to come and showcase what they do. There will be a small fee if you contact us. The school is on Twitter, Facebook. We have a website. Just send us messages. I will be happy to do business with you. Come showcase showcase, teach our young boys, and associate with us. All the other old students associations, Kitende, Gayaza, Chikoba, Kira College, Budo, Old Bodonians, you're all invited to be part of our Careers Day on Friday 23rd and our AGM activities, football activities, and of course the President's Cocktail at Muir Clubhouse in Jinja in the evening of Saturday. Thank you very much. May God bless you. And as you know, Busoga College Muir lent Uganda its motto, for God and my country. For us in Lusoga, we say, Kulwa Katonda ne Gwanga lya ife. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Well, that is always my parting, my signing off for God and my country. I don't want to dare it in Lusoga. But otherwise, it's been a very interesting show about alumni. What have you done for your school? And if you're from Muir, Busoga College, Muir, please make it a date. Be there. Be there. Give back to your school. Inspire the young ones. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow for God and my country. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Ocho, mwami musoke. Njose nekusanga.
Ate chichi.
Munange, anti gwamanya kunyinyonyola ebintu by'emisolo bino n'embitegeera.
Ate chichi leero.
Mbadde ku dduuka n'empulira ng'abakyala bagamba tulina okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS.
Tukikolanga.
Ate mbadde
kituufu nnyo.
Mbadde sikimanyi na ki.
Eyo y'enkola egenda okutuyamba okulwaninga bizinesi zaffe mu ngeri ya digital.
Etya.
Oba olina okuwandiisa bizinesi yo mu IFRIS, osobola okumanya omuwendo gw'ebintu by'olina mu bizinesi yo, enfulumya n'ennyingiza mu bizinesi yo. Awo URA esobola okukola omulimu gwayo ogw'emisolo obulungi.
Nedda mwami musoke kye sitegeera. IFRIS eyingira etya mu bizinesi yange?
Kakati enkola ne IFRIS eyingiza bizinesi yo mu sisitemu ya URA kubanga tekyali kya buntu bulamu okugerekera omusolo ogutali mutuufu abateebereza buteebereza.
Ekyo kituufu ddala bannange, ekyo kituufu kubanga mazima obadde omusolo gubadde gwapaala bupaazi ng'ogenda n'osasula omusolo gw'otomanyiiko omutwe n'amagulu kwegamba bambi nga tekiriiyo.
Olaba kakati ate n'ekirala IFRIS eyamba okukuuma ebiwandiiko bya bizinesi yo kuba biyinza okubulako, biyinza okukwata omuliro, naye kati wano IFRIS biba biri digitalized.
Bannange nekola ntya okwewandiisa?
Kyaku nnyo waludde dda. Okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS, genda ku kibanja kya URA www.ura.go.ug. Awo olondeko e-invoicing. Awo no ogoberere endagiriro. URA tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
Ensangi zino amaka gaffe tegakyali kifo gye tusula busuzi. Waafuuka ekifo we tukolera enkiiko z'emirimu, we tusomera, we twenywereza mu by'okwerinda, era we tusanyukira. Ebintu